My name is Everett Purdy, and today I'm going to be talking to you about symbols. For now, I'm going to be chatting about the symbol of the water maiden. Now, you know, if you know astrology, you might know what the water maiden represents. What it symbolizes. Well, it is the symbol for Aquarius. Let's just get that straight. Um, The Water Maiden is very, very notorious for being the person that is going to add such wisdom and light into people's lives, to really enlighten them and to really, really move them into a higher state of being and consciousness. But the interesting thing is, it is not as emotional as it is logical. Now, the important thing to consider with this symbolism, let me just get to the point. The water maiden pours the water. Think of, because I remember, in the 1960s, there's so much Aquarian energy. People were in the streets rallying and not dilly-dallying to make changes. They had all these posters like, we want equal rights. We want to dress and express ourselves in our own way. We want to go into these vans and we want to go to these places where we can be totally free to enjoy life with our friends and be freedom writers, and also, just not be so confined to the limitations, not be so confined to a government or a civilization in itself telling us what is expected of us, and therefore, oh no, we have to follow it. Aquarius is the sign, bear in mind, that has a glyph of a wave going. So the glyph you can see as very young, and if I were to just suddenly go into a party of people with all different types of personalities, and if I were to have the punch or get any other drink or food that I wanted with, let's say a band was playing, let's say the lights were flashing, there was so much space for people to dance and enjoy themselves and move around. And then I would happen to meet somebody who was very eccentric and very, there's a bit of an aloof quality to them, where they don't really seem to follow the group, and they do not want to be compared and considered and reminded that they are in resemblance to somebody else. Very, excruciative, or someone very not them and not who they want to be and not who they want to be compared to. Pisces looks at the unification of all of us, how we are all connected in one state of consciousness and one state of being, how we can all go to our individual desks and look at our finances, but in the same room, on the same earth. It's very, very, all for one and one for all. It's that very connected communion sort of energy, but Aquarius is like, okay, now we're part of the community, but how are we individuals? How are we not going to be like anybody else? How are we going to break the rules? How are we going to stand out from the crowd or pack of lions or birds or sheep or people, and stand out in our own way? And indeed, you can see this glyph in the sky, which is very blue and very crystalline, sort of a light, which really, really matches the place where, I remember watching Superman, and he was walking towards this place in the Antarctic. Was it Antarctic or was it the Arctic? I think it was the Arctic, which was it was just this very strange and, make up a word now, chalante, very unusual, very unknown. It was secret. Nobody knew about it. You go into this place, and these very, very tall pillars of ice would be lining the whole place. And it would be very crystalline, and there would be a blue and light quality. And indeed, this blue and light quality, these are the colors, or the color codons for this glyph. So, Pisces looks at the ocean. Pisces looks at the waves and how all the water floods and merges with each other. It is this, again, unification process. It's this unification energy. There's a lot of flooding that may go on because Pisces, is the fish that does not want to be in the tank. It wants to be free to swim whichever direction, that the wind takes it. In whatever direction that its heart desires, and it goes one way. Oh, and I changed my mind. I'm going to another. Oh, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to turn around, and go completely another way. Like, for instance, if you've ever been on roller coasters, maybe it would be with a cloudy day al fresco outside or inside a cave, where you would go down this roller coaster and you go one way and you go backward, but you wouldn't, because you would go down another way. You would back up, and that, driver would perhaps, change the brakes, or, so that you go the other way. And indeed, it's very, very Aquarius to go the other way. All the fish are swimming in a school of fish. Which is very elementary. Indeed. I have a shirt that says no school. School of fish, the Aquarius. Oh, now I'm going the other way. So, it's this need not to follow. Notice the waves. Notice the symbolism of the waves that are, while they look connected, look at the space between them. See that space? It's cut off. The water is being poured out upon these people. This knowledge and wisdom for the future. This maiden standing up in the sky does not want things to become a custom, a figure for data that you could write into the computer going, this is a rule of this society. This is a rule of this society. This is a custom and tradition that this society does. No. Aquarius wants to change and innovate. And indeed, the water maiden does want to do this. So, in the clouds, in the heavens, with the very fluffy, good thing it's not starchy material with the clouds, the Aquarius would be standing up very, very high up in the air and pouring down her knowledge and her wisdom down to the earth to benefit and move the people into a new age. Thank you for watching. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be small things as well. Like, a glow-in-the-dark flashlight versus a new plane that could fly from, I don't know, across the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, for instance.